So focus bracketing, anyone, it's also simple, but let's see together how to set it up and what to do after we shot those images. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thomas Love here from One Lens Only, and nowadays we want to talk about focus bracketing. Now, you might know how the bracketing system functions or where to activate it in your camera if you want to have exposure bracketing. That means we covered this item already, so if you missed that episode, please find it up here. We discussed how to shoot underexposed, overexposed, and then how to merge them in order to have an HDR end result. But today we're talking about focus bracketing. What does it mean? This is particularly important. I started doing it when I started shooting food photography. So basically you start focusing on a point at the beginning of the frame, and then the camera takes several shots towards infinite, and then you can stack all those images together so you have a whole coverage of focus in the item you want to shoot. Now, we said it is particularly important for food photography, but also for macro photography or other projects that you might have. So let's see together how to set it up. The most important thing is how to set the stage for your focus bracketing. So if you are a food photographer, if you are a macro photographer, you want to set the stage properly. You want to choose the framing, if you have a zoom, or if you need to move the tripod, move the lights, set the things so that the end result is appealing, because once you set it, then you cannot move, you cannot adjust anything, because you're going to take several photos in order to stack them together. So today, since it's such a jolly day, I set up a festive stage. So I'm having here these little Christmas toys. As you can see, the light is hitting anywhere. I'm using leading lines, so please bear with me because I did it so fast because I wanted to record this video. And then, as you can see, we are adjusting the lights to avoid having shadows. And then in your camera, in this case I'm using my A7C Mark II. Make sure you don't have a picture profile activated, otherwise you will not be able to do that. Then you go back to the photo settings, and here in the drive mode you go down until you choose focus bracket, and then you have different functions to choose from: the number of shots and the number of steps and how big these steps are. Then you have to move the focus point so you start very close in the frame, because then you're moving toward infinites. And make sure you double check also the other options. We will have a dedicated video about this order, the exposure, smoothing, and all these options that you can have in your Sony camera. I don't know about other cameras. I used to do it with the Lumix as well, but right now I'm using a Sony, so we're having a dedicated video about all these other options. So bear with me, and here this is just how to set up and how to start and what to do next. Then you want to start shooting your photos. So I picked up, as a comparison, I shot a single image with f11, which is enough. It's a broad depth of field just to compare with the focus bracketing that I'm doing with 25 shots. So it will be a bit of a time for post-processing, because the software will have to stack all these 25 images, but then you have an end result still raw to play with. So now when you start shooting and you don't touch the camera, because I set the interval in between shots the shortest possible so it doesn't delay 1 or 2 seconds each shot. I'm using a mechanical shutter. You might want to have an electronic shutter so you have less movements of the camera. I don't mind because I didn't see any vibration, but if you want to be safe, better safe than sorry, set it to electronic shutter so you don't even have any vibration inside the camera body, and then just let it run. Now, once you have those raw files, you want to stack them. I don't know what software you're using. I'm using Luminar Neo, so let's see together how to do that. I imported already all the 25 shots. Now I'm selecting them all, and then I am moving them here to the side. You see there's this focus bracketing option, and then I let it run. It will take a few minutes, but towards the very end, you will see it stacking them together, and then you have this end result of an image that you can now post-process, because you might want to adjust some settings. So let's see. As you can see, it's a very good focus bracketing. I'm in focus with all the elements in this image. You might want to enhance just to let the AI run the very first adjustments. You want to have this noise reduction. It's not needed because it's suggesting me to go with the low option, but I don't see why not. I'm just doing this noiseless reduction, and now I'm having a clean shot to play with. And then usual things, you want to play with the exposure, with the contrast. You want to maybe lower a bit the highlights just to be sure you're not clipping them, and then playing with the shadow. And this is ready to be exported, and the end result will be, we'll see it later on, will be a great image. Now we're done. I want to show you the other photo that I took at f11. So let me import the other photo that I've taken. It was the very first one. So here we have the second shot. Sorry, the thing is that I forgot to close down to f11, so I had to retake it. So the stage is not exactly the same. We're gonna adjust the crop slightly, because I forgot to change the aperture, so I took the same shot at f4. So now it's comparable. f11, as you can see, we have more or less the same number of elements in focus. We do the exact same modifications that we did to the other stock image, so at least it's comparable. Noise reduction as well, we let it run, and then we will adjust very quickly the exposure, the contrast, and the highlights. Same modifications that I did to the stock shot. This is key to me, knowing deeply knowing what your camera is capable of. Then you might want to choose not to do stacking. You might want to do that. You might want to practice in order to have all these settings set up properly. You want to play with the stage. You want to play with the lights. You want to have everything set, but you need to know what your camera is capable of. So this is a very capable camera. It is quite recent, so Sony put all the features that they had available inside this tiny body, and apart from having only one memory card slot, I guess it's a pro level. The end result are so pleasing. I'm very happy with it. So please let me know down here in the comments if you have other doubts, or if you're using other camera systems, and if I can help you with this focus bracketing. Otherwise, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, please remember to like it, share it on your social media, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any videos to come, and I guess I'll see you later. Thank you. Bye bye.